Welcome everyone to another edition of the Perpetual Protocol Community Call. This is actually edition number 47. So, for those who don't know me, my name is Houston, Perpetual Protocol Community Call. This is actually edition number 47. And today, I'm joined by, of course, Jamie Holmes from the marketing team. So, welcome, Jamie.
Hey, how's it going?
I'm doing excellent. And I'm happy to say that this is my first time hosting this call. So, I finally graduated. Lee and Hannah have blessed me. I am now allowed to host the call. So, looking forward to hosting these more regularly and getting a chance to chat with everyone in the community. So, just wanted to kick off things. We'll give a few moments for people some late stragglers to come in. But before we get into the actual community news, let's kick things off with a timely poll. So you may see a poll in the chat pod there. And the question is, do you support a CBDC in your country? Kind of a controversial question, but a simple yes or no if you want to answer that. I'll give you folks a couple of moments to think about it a bit, what that could possibly mean, and answer that. I'm looking at the stats right now. Interestingly, I thought it was going to be quite skewed, but it turns out so far it's not that skewed. Let's give it 10 more seconds. Any late stragglers, you want to type in your votes? Do you support a CBDC in your country? Alright, let's close the poll here and let us get the answer. So, we'll end the poll. And the no's have it. So, 66% of you said no, while 33% said yes. So it was a small sampling. So as we get more people in here, I'm curious to hear what other people think. But how about you, Jamie? What do you fall on that fence? Yay or nay to government CBDCs?
Definitely nay, because the UK have said that if they introduce a CBDC, then you can hold a maximum of £20,000, and this is just cutting it short in terms of how much money you can earn or save. So I'm quite against it.
Yeah, I'm definitely in the no camp as well. I don't see anything good coming out of CBDC. I don't see the benefits, to be honest. I just don't see the benefits of it. So if someone can tell me why a CBDC is markedly better than maybe a stable coin or or Bitcoin, I'm all ears. But until I hear that argument, I don't see any benefit. Just a bunch of risks and trade-offs. All right, so thanks for answering that, folks. So one more question I have for folks who are in the chat right now is, I'm curious. The big news of the day. This is Wednesday. We're recording this Wednesday, March 22nd. Big FOMC meeting coming up this afternoon, 2 p.m. EST. What do you think? Are we gonna get the 25 basis points? That's the expectation the market's thinking right now. We're gonna get a raise, or are they gonna cut? Informal poll, so no one has to. I don't have a poll set up here, but and folks in the chat pod, what do you guys think? We're gonna get a raise? Are they gonna just keep it in line with expectations at 25 basis points, or are they gonna cut? Well, you guys think that through. How about you, Jamie? Do you have a horse in the race here? Do you have any ideas?
I'll just go with the consensus, 25 basis point hike.
Yeah.
Play it safe.
Play it safe, right? Yeah, I think it's probably the name of the game. Yeah, you don't really get to be a hero if you raise. Things could get ugly if they raise. If they drop it, if they cut the rates now, it could look like there's a lack of confidence in the system. That things are maybe too fragile, and to play it safe, I think you're right. That would be the safe bet, 25 basis points. But if that's expectation, if they just come in line and they do 25, is that going to make the market happy or not? Or is everyone going to say, "Oh, this is what we expected," so things sell off? What do you think? That's the next second order, second order question. If we get the 25 basis points, in line with that expectations, does the market rip on that, go sideways, or go down because of it?
I think it'll be cautiously bullish.
Yeah, cautiously bullish. Okay, yeah. So okay, Anisha, hey Anisha, in the chat, but she says she thinks they're gonna cut. Okay, they're gonna cut. All right. Yeah, I think I'm in Jamie's camp. I think they're going to probably keep their rates at 25, and I think it's also going to be moderately bullish. Yeah.
They've been saying keeping rates higher for longer, so they'd lose a lot of credibility if they cut now.
Yeah,
But
100%.
yeah, anything's possible.
Yeah. Yeah, if they cut what is, it certainly does not look good in the system. That means things are probably very, very fragile. So yeah, very interesting to see. So everyone, yeah, I think we're living in a weird time in history now where the whole world is tuned in on FOMC meetings. It's no longer a U.S. phenomenon. It seems to be a global thing. But anyways, so let's continue on with our call here. Thanks for participating in those polls, everyone. Before we launch into the community news section, just a couple of fun things to catch up on. There's been so much stuff going on the past couple weeks that I thought it'd be fun for us to share our opinions around some of the hotter topics. So maybe the first big thing that happened since our last community call was the USDC DPEG. I think that was probably one of those events that people are going to remember for a long time. Jamie, what did you think about that event, and what was your thought process, and how were you managing it?
Yeah, it was just a bit surreal, really. It's the stable coin that's perceived as like the safest, the most regulated, So yeah, it was kind of surreal to see USDC depegging.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was pretty confident that it was gonna like go back to parity with the dollar. But yeah, I didn't really act on it. I just acted on like Ethereum or Bitcoin instead. Like I didn't really want to go long on USDC, to be honest.
Yeah. No, I think that's what happened. Right? I think a lot of people began to question, man, I can't hold my money in stables anymore. So where do I put this crypto, this magic internet money? Where should I put it? And I think the people just dumped it into ETH and Bitcoin, especially Bitcoin, since Bitcoin has exploded over the past couple of weeks. But yeah, it was quite the moment, especially USDC being such a vital part of DeFi. I think that was, to me, the part that there was a lot of unknowns around what was going to happen, because we didn't know which protocols had what kind of which protocols have what kind of relationship with USDC. Like, did they peg it 1-to-1? Was it more of a floating peg, or how are they using it as collateral? All that kind of stuff. And so it was nice to see that over the course of the weekend, nothing blew up. So even though it depegged down to 80 cents or something like that, or something even lower, depending on exchange you're on, it was good to see that there wasn't actually no real bodies that floated up from that fiasco. But certainly, I think it leaves me wondering, what is really the role of USDC in our DeFi markets? So we'll talk more about that as we get into some of the adjustments that happened on our platform at Perpetual, and how we adjusted our protocol to deal with the USDC DPEG. The other big thing that came out the last couple of weeks is, of course, the just this past week is the Arbitrum airdrop, or the soon to be announced Arbitrum airdrop. Any thoughts on that, Jamie?
Yeah, I think it'll be an interesting time for Ethereum and Arbitrum. Yeah, I think there'll be a lot of like buzz around those protocols, because just like the Optimism airdrop, a lot of the protocols will be getting like a large share of the tokens.
Yeah. You playing it at all? Are you active in Arbitrum? Have you been trying to farm it
Yeah,
down?
like I received I received the airdrop, but I weren't really that active on Arbitrum, so the airdrop is like quite small compared to like on the lower end of the distribution.
Yeah.
So it wasn't that much, but yeah, kind of kicking myself. I should have bridged more and used more protocols on there, but yeah.
Yeah. That's the game, isn't it? Like, I think it's a really good incentive mechanism. Obviously, I think it's hard not to say that there probably were a lot of airdrop farmers that did a lot of stuff on Arbitrum for the potential to earn that ARB token. But in my mind, I'm always struggling with these L2s around why they need their own token. So to me, it's still one of those. I think I'm in that Arthur Hayes camp, where it's like, why did some of these L2s you actually need a token for? And I know the standard answer is governance, but I still wonder. I think the real motivation is obviously, it's nice to have a treasury and raise some money for founding teams and that kind of stuff. But any people like to speculate, so it's obviously a really good incentive for people. But yeah, I wonder if we at some point our ecosystem will get tired of these L2s or L3s that have their own tokens instead of just using ETH. But humans being humans, I think people will always want free money. So I don't think that'll probably change anytime soon. All right, and one final thing before we jump into the news is, of course, the big one. We kind of talked about it already, kind of alluded to it, but the other big headline currently in play is Balaji's $1 million Bitcoin bet. Not only is it Bitcoin going to $1 million, which is controversial in itself, but his bet is that it's going to get there within 90 days, right? Which is everyone's like, what does that mean, 90 days?
Which day are we on right now? Like, I'm counting down.
Is it 88 or 89? What is it now? 85? I don't know. Yeah. What's your take on that one, Jamie?
Yeah, it's quite a bold prediction. Maybe not 90 days. Maybe something more like 90 months.
90 months. Yeah, exactly. That's more reasonable. 90 months. That's funny. Yeah. I think a lot of people have said, rightly so, it's probably, a really good $1 million worth spent on, or 2 million, right? 2 million actually, because he made $2 million bets that Bitcoin's going to get to 1 million. And people are rightly saying it's probably a, part of his marketing budget to pump his bags, or to try to bring more attention to the possibility that maybe there are some real financial financial hiccups going on underneath the scenes, and that people may want to protect themselves by looking at things like Bitcoin. The other take I like is that $2 million is actually not a bad price to pay to be the main bad guy on Twitter for the next 90 days. So it's if you want to be the main character on Twitter for 90 days, $2 million is actually a pretty good marketing spend. So I think that's a pretty good take as well, because every time I check Twitter now, he's like the headline. He's like he's trending. So
it's the main character.
Yeah, he's the main character for at least the next 90 days. So I think it's pretty good money spent. Anyways, so let's launch into it. So thanks once again for everyone for tuning in. We're gonna now go through some of the latest community news that we recently published on our blog, and we'll add some color around our most recent updates. So before we get started here, I'm just going to share our letter in the meantime as I warm this up. Is we're doing a big giveaway today. So thanks to everyone who's tuned in right now. We're actually going to be doing a big giveaway in recognition of our hot tub launch. So as you may or may not have heard, we just released our hot tub vaults yesterday. And as part of this big launch day, or launch week, we're going to give out 3 Perp hot tub themed t-shirts today to 3 lucky people on this call who come up with the best questions during our Q&A portion. So we'll open it up to Q&A at the end of the call today, so you have plenty of time to think of some questions to ask us. But for the 3 best questions we get on today's call, we're going to give away a awesome hot tub themed t-shirt. Let me see if I have a picture of it so I can kind of show it off a bit. Here we go. You guys see that? There we go. So there's the t-shirt. I'm going to have to get one myself. Look at the price on that. $999. Not a bad. So you're getting some exclusive merch here. This is actually one of the most expensive items on our store. Comes in a beautiful 6 different colors, from black, asphalt, white, and yeah. So think of some good questions and share them afterwards to be eligible to collect one of these 3 exclusive t-shirts. So let's get to the newsletter now. Actually, one more quick shout out, one more thing, a call to action before we jump into the actual newsletter is, and I'll talk more about it later in this call as well. But we do have, I do want to talk about ETH Taipei. We're actually going to be Perp Protocol is going to be a sponsor of ETH Taipei, and we have a discount code we can share for everyone on today's call. So if you're going to be in Taipei around April 21st to 25th, we do have a 40% discount code we can share with you. So if you want to tweet us after the call or even now, let us know if you're going to be in the area and want that discount code. Tweet us, tell us you're going to be there or interested in being there and why you want to be there, and we'll be happy to share that 40% discount code with you. Okay, so let's get into it. So as I mentioned already, today's call is really kind of a party because we finally launched our hot tub vaults. So they are now live, and in fact, I'll show them in a few moments here, but they're nearly full. So currently, to get access to the hot tub vaults, you actually need to whitelist yourself. So why don't we quickly I'll show you that page. So if you head over to vaults.perp.com, and I'll show you that page here now, you'll see our 2 hot tub vaults that are available. So these are our first 2 vaults, and they're both arbitrage vaults. So that's just basically a fancy word of saying they're market neutral. That means that these 2 vaults, they use a strategy that will allow you to basically earn, regardless of market conditions. So whether or not, the Fed hikes to 50 basis points or, cuts, to below 25, these are both market neutral, and they're not focused on directional price, right? So how they make returns is when prices get out of line. So it actually, the vaults do best when there's actually volatility. So this is so if you take a look at the vaults right now, we have a USDC vault and an ETH vault, and right now the ETH is actually returning a healthy 20% APR, and the USDC vault returning a healthy 13% ATR. So it's nice to see. We launched it just yesterday. I think we published that to our Twitter feed and our social media accounts, and we're already close to this is 90% already on ETH and 93% on USDC. So they're super simple to use. So this is the whole point is, if you want to park your money somewhere with a kind of a lower risk spectrum, then these are the kind of vaults that you definitely want to consider. If you think about the different sort of offerings we have at the protocol, of course, Perpetual, you can trade on the protocol. You can LP. You can obviously stake your Perp with Perpetual. But here's the 4th option. That's to actually deposit your funds into a vault and just basically earn yield passively through an arbitrage strategy. It's all done by the underlying vault. So if I click on the vault, I am whitelisted, so I get to see this page here. But if you weren't whitelisted, this page, this little panel here would say that you need to be whitelisted. But from here, you can see the current APR, the share price. So that basically tracks the performance of or how much you own as part of that pool, and how much of AUM is currently in that vault. Okay. So it's super simple to use. So basically, if I want to deposit money, it's just as simple as basically typing in how much I want to deposit, clicking approve, and that's that. So it's as simple as that. And the nice thing with the vaults is that you can basically, so long as you're whitelisted, you can deposit anytime you want, and you can withdraw anytime you want, right? So there's no lockup period. There's no sort of a holding period where your funds are stuck. At any given time, if you have free ETH, the free USDC that you want to earn some yield on, you can just park it here, earn it in a non-custodial way, right? In a permissionless way, and deposit and remove based upon your needs. So super easy to use. I don't know, Jim, if you want to add anything else, if I forgot anything about that's interesting around Hot Tub, but I thought that's kind of the high level synopsis of it.
Yeah, I'll just mention 2 things, like the kind of buttons or things at the bottom basically give you more details. So the overview, the strategy, how it works, the benefits, and then also the risks. And then I'd also mention another thing, like just one tip if you're depositing into Hot Tub is to, if you're going to deposit, then just aim to keep it in the vault for as long as possible, because as more time passes, there's more likely there's a greater likelihood of like volatility happening in the market, and then that's how that's when the strategy performs best. So, the longer you keep your funds in the vault, the more you could potentially earn, because as over time there'll be more arbitrage opportunities as there's more volatility in the market.
Yeah, very good point. Right, so um, today's FOMC would be a good time to probably lock your money in before the event, and then
Yeah,
then there's the magic of compounding too, right? So the longer you lock in your money, your funds will also compound. So that's the benefit of that as well. So yeah, the longer you have your monies in there, yeah, the better chance of taking advantage of the volatility. So really nice sort of maybe tool in your tool belt as an investor or as a trader, to have a second strategy working for you behind the scenes, right? So as a trader investor, it's nice to be able to diversify your holdings across multiple trading strategies. This would be that idea, right? So here's a sort of non-custodial way, where and low effort way where you can do that kind of diversification without having to run it all yourself. So that way you can focus on other parts of your investing or research or trading process. And this could be, again, an allocation that you do separately to diversify your risks. But as Jamie mentioned, go down the bottom here. These 4 buttons are really useful. Take a read. Obviously, nothing is riskless. There's always risk to it, but we try to also address that in terms of the conditions where the vault would have some difficulties. But think if you know anything about trading, and we kind of can understand the gist of arbitrage. Basically, this is what this bot does, or this vault does, and then obviously there's some conditions where the bot will do less well. Basically, when markets are basically like flat and going sideways, and there's also environments where the vault will do better. All right, so hope you found that overview useful, and look forward to more folks jumping into the vault and hanging out in the hot tub. But if you do want to sign up right now, as I mentioned, you do have to be whitelisted. So if you go back to our newsletter here, all you gotta do is either jump to the hot tub page and click on sign up to get whitelisted, or right from the newsletter, just click on the sign up page right there, and you'll be able to get yourself on the whitelist. We're adding more and more people to the whitelist every week. And the hot tub is nearly full. So you may be asking, well, the hot tub's nearly full. Am I going to be able to park my money in there if it fills up? I know we're reevaluating it on a regular basis. Jamie, do you have any insights in terms of how or when we would open up that vault to more people?
I'm not too sure, but yeah, I think we're gonna raise the cap gradually over time. But yeah, I'm not too sure like on the exact timing of that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think as Jerry mentioned, we're evaluating that to make sure that, number one, the strategy still has to make money, right? So obviously, as you add more and more people to the vault, that might diminish the returns. So I know the team is closely watching the performance of the strategy to make sure that everyone involved in that vault is making decent returns. So that's definitely one of the inputs there. All right, so let's move on to the next big news item, and that's around the increase of USDT collateral, the increase of the USDT collateral ratio. Easy for me to say. I guess I'll give it a high level, and then Jamie, maybe you can chime in if you have any extra thoughts. But essentially, I think prior to this announcement, the collateral ratio of USDT was 90%, right? So for every $100 you deposited, 90 could be used as collateral, or was weighted. The $9 was weighted as collateral. And after the depegging event, I think it's fair to say that USDT, people have become a lot more comfortable holding USDT versus just USDC. Jamie, any other colors you want to add to that?
Not really, no, but yeah, it's great to see like another stable coin or another asset with 100% collateral ratio, just giving traders like more choice.
Yeah, definitely. And we saw that in our Discord too, right? So right after or during that weekend when USDC depegged, we had a bunch of comments in our Discord saying, yeah, we should, you guys should, think about other stablecoin types. And for the folks on the call, like, are there any particular stablecoins you guys really like that you think we should add to the protocol as collateral? Like right now, Jamie, what's our accepted collateral types? We got USDC, USDT, What else do we accept?
Ethereum or wrapped Ethereum and OP as well.
OP, yeah, and OP. I thought we had Frax on there too. Is there Frax on there? Or that was something that was coming?
Yeah, I think yeah, it's still there, but maybe it was removed because there wasn't really much
That's
usage.
right.
But
Yeah,
I'm not sure. I'll have to check that. Yeah,
yeah. There wasn't too much usage of Frax. I know people had asked for it, but then by the time we actually put it on the platform, on the protocol, there's actually very few people actually using Frax, which was interesting because it seemed like there was a market signal, but it turns out that not that many people were actually using Frax or interested in using it for collateral. Another one that I saw was an interesting comment was someone wanted to add, WBTC as collateral. I thought that was an interesting idea as well. So I thought that could be one if you want to make your BTC more productive and actually use it as collateral. That was an interesting idea. But if there's any comments in the chat around potential other collateral types, but if not, we can move on. Yeah, so we move on then. So the next update to share is the mark price update. I'll pass this over to you, Jamie, to talk about that one.
yeah, sure. So currently on Perp, we use the a time weighted average price from like the Oracle price feeds to calculate like margin requirements and liquidation processes. But one of the issues with this is that because it's a time weighted average price, then it's not that responsive to like market conditions. So if the price moves really quickly up or down, then it's going to take a while for that to reflect in the index price, which is the time weighted average price. So that means like in certain situations, it might be harder to liquidate trader accounts, or there might be like a lack of incentives for liquidators to take over positions. So basically, what this new mark price does is just makes it like just gives us like a fairer reference price for calculating margin requirements and liquidations. So yeah, it's just changing the formula of how that's calculated, and yeah, just to improve like the fairness and stability of the protocol, and yeah, just making it more accessible and more trader friendly as well. Because this reference price that the mark price is, it will just be more accurate and reliable. So it will just reduce the risk of like price manipulation or the risk of bad debts accruing to the protocol.
Cool. Yeah, and I know you wrote a really good article on this as well, so let me just quickly click on that link here. I think that's a pretty deep article. If you
Oh,
sort of
that was one of our smart contract engineers, Mia. She wrote that. But
oh,
yeah,
okay.
I just
So
like
you can't take credit for that one then, no?
no, I can't take credit for that one. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just edited it slightly and then yeah, posted it. But yeah, I didn't write this. This was the work of Mia.
Okay.
I think
Fair
she's the
enough.
engineer like focusing on this update.
Yeah. So if you do want to get the nitty gritty in terms of how the mark price is actually calculated, then check out this article that's in that link that's provided, and it gets exactly into the formula that's being used to calculate that mark price, which is sort of in the weeds, but also quite interesting, so you sort of understand the thought process around how that mark price is created. And of course, Jimmy already talked about the benefits of that. When I think of the mark price, I think it's such an important mechanism that all protocols need to and exchanges need to think about. As just simple retail traders, we never want to be in a situation where one big wick takes us out, right? Like back in the day, like in 2017, 2018, it's very common when you're trading a lot of these tokens that you'd have these liquidity events, and you'd have one massive wick, one big candle, because you were trading some sort of illiquid pair, and it would stop you out, and you'd be at the bottom of that wick, right? You'd be the last person on that totem pole to get stopped out before it shot back up again. And things like mark price is supposed to prevent things like that from happening, to prevent you from getting liquidated, and for your account value to be properly measured and protected. So yeah, super important for exchanges and protocols to think through these things and have that have it baked into the exchange or protocol. All right, so thanks for that update. Let's move on now to community and partnerships. So I guess three things to chat about. So number one, I kind of talked about already, is ETH Taipei. So ETH Taipei really bring up that link. I'll click on the link now. Happening on April 21st to the 25th. So if you're a dev, you can come over to the hackathon and participate from April 21st to the 23rd. And then the actual conference is the 24th to the 25th. So, as I mentioned earlier, if you're going to be in ETH, if you're going to be in Taipei at that time and are interested in ETH Taipei, then tweet us. Tweet us that you're going to be there, and we'd be happy to share with you a 40% discount code. I believe right now the tickets are going for, I checked yesterday, I think it was like $100, 100 USDC for a ticket, because it's currently early bird pricing. So, right now you can buy the ticket for 100 USDC. With that 40% discount, you can get it in for a nice $60. So if you want to get an early bird ticket with some discounts, tweet us online, and we'll be happy to share that code with you. Okay, so I look forward to seeing everyone there, and I know many of our team members are going to be at ETH Taipei. Jamie, you going to be able to make it?
Yeah, I booked my flight
nice.
the other day, so I'll be in Taipei for about 2 weeks.
Jealous. I'm not going to be able to make it. I have 2 young kids, so the chance of me making it ETH Taipei is quite slim, but I would definitely like to go if I had different situations going on. But enjoy the time. It sounds like it's going to be a fantastic conference. Okay, back to the newsletter. The second community news to share is around our recent spat of Twitter Spaces and podcasts. So, Jamie, tell us more about that.
So yesterday I joined the Optimistic series hosted by Sublee. So, Sublee's like an optimism sort of influencer, no, like an ambassador more so than an influencer. So he's doing a good job of educating people of all the different protocols and on optimism and just about the optimism ecosystem in general. So I'd really highly recommend checking out his series, as well as the episode I joined as well. So you can check out the Twitter space, going through our Twitter or on Sublee's Twitter as well. And then we also have 2 podcasts scheduled, one for this week and another one that'll be quite soon. That'll be imminent. So the first one, I'll be appearing on Token Terminal, on their 15 minutes fundamentals. So just to talk a bit about where Perp's at, some updates on Perp, including Lazy River 2.0 and the Hot Tub Vault launch, as well as just explaining a bit more about the protocol. And Yan Wen, our co-founder, will be joining the Blockmates podcast soon as well. So he'll be talking a bit about the Hot Tub Vaults launch, Perp dexes in general, and just the vision for Perp as well.
Awesome. So lots of stuff on the community calendar, lots of speaking events. So tune in for those. Of course, we always record them, and most of them are recorded, so you can always check them out afterwards on our YouTube channel if you can't make it live, or on Twitter Spaces if they're recorded as well. But take a chance, take some time and tune into those. Third one on the list to share is our Perp Poker Masters series. We're already at number 6, so we do these about once a month. They're actually quite regular. So we have our 6th edition of this tournament coming up this coming Friday. So if you're going to be awake or around on Friday, March 24th at 1 p.m. UTC, that's actually 9 a.m. my time, but it is 9 p.m. I think it's 9 p.m. in Asia. But if you're around at that time, then definitely come and compete and try to best our poker pros. So we have some pretty good poker players out there in our community. Jamie, you going to be there this Friday?
I'm gonna try. I'll try. I'm not sure because the timing is a bit weird for me. Just join working hours.
Yeah, I won't tell anyone if you join. You can always use a different name. But it should be a fun tournament and has some good gifts too. So we have 3. Actually, there's 3 prizes to win. So there's actually a gift. There's gift cards for merchandise. We actually have a very sought after Perp poker hoodie. Actually, I'll show that off real quickly. It has become quite the collectible in our community. It's actually not easy to get. The only way you can get this poker hoodie is by actually winning it. or by spending $1,000. So that's the other way if you want to. Actually, no, I don't think you'd even buy this thing. So I think if you actually try to check out here, it actually would not even allow you to buy it. So yeah, this poker hoodie is very exclusive. I think there's less than 6 of them because some people actually may have won more than once, so they could only claim it once. But yeah, so I think it's a very rare poker hoodie, and it's one of the big prizes of the poker tournament. So yeah, come out, compete against the poker community here at Perpetual. You may even get a chance to play against Jamie. All right. And I think that's a wrap for the things that are on our newsletter this week. So let me just quickly take a look here. Yeah, make sure we covered all our ground. So we did. So I guess what we'll do now is let's open it up for Q&A. So I'll give people a few moments to collect themselves and put their Q&A questions together. As you prepare your Q&A questions, feel free to drop it in the chat pod. We'll get to it in a few moments. As we get into the Q&A, before we do that, why don't I share this call's oat. So Leonie, if you're there, if you don't mind, can you drop the link to our oat or NFT into the chat pod? So for the folks who are on the call, you can now shortly claim your oat. Hopefully Leonie's around. If not, I can try to find that link and drop it in there. But as we get that link prepared, so just a heads up, right? As always, the oat, it is a limited claim time. So you have from now until 12 p.m. Eastern. So you have about 2.5 hours, a little less than 2.5 hours to claim the oat. Thank you, Leonie. There's the link. So you'll find the link to the oat inside that feedback form. So you'll click on that link. You'll see a Google form. It's a feedback form, and we'd love to have you fill that out. So it's not required to fill out the form to receive the oat, but we'd love to hear your feedback on how you think we did today, how you think we can improve, and other topics or guests that you'd love for us to have on this call. So inside that form, you'll find that link, and as always, just click on the link. You'll be able to claim oat number 47 on Galaxy. So as always, make sure if privacy is of importance to you, make sure you spin up maybe a fresh wallet if you want to have this disconnected from your main profile and adhere to safe wallet practices. All right, so you got about 2 hours and 20 minutes left to claim that oat. Enjoy it. It's a special edition oat every single time. All right, so that oat is now out there in the ether. So let's take the questions that are coming in here. So let's see the first one and see what people have here, and then see who gets to win those T-shirts. So I see one. I see a question right now in the chat pod. 2 questions on hot tub. Okay, good one. So, what leverage does it use? And secondly, what protocols will arbitrage with besides Uniswap? Good questions. Good questions of you. Jamie, do you have any answers to those questions?
Yeah, so from what I understand, the vaults only really take on like 1x leverage just to like hedge the spot holdings or the sale of the spot Ethereum. So yeah, I'm pretty sure like the leverage applied is pretty much close to 1 or equal to 1 the whole time. And then sorry, can you remind me of the second question again, please?
Yeah, second question is what protocols will we arbitrage with again besides Uniswap?
So I think currently it's Uniswap and 1inch, but I think this will be expanded to other spot dexes. But yeah, I think currently at the moment it's Uniswap on Optimism and 1inch on Optimism.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, good question, Ayub. We'll keep that in our queue here in terms of the best questions of the call. So great question. Related to that, I think it says it in the documents. I think it's under one of the buttons here, and I think one of the nice part with how we're doing the strategy. Yeah, I think at the bottom here is this point at the bottom that it makes so the as Jamie mentioned, right, we're actually doing arbitrage against various right now a couple of different exchanges, um, exchanges. We're doing our arbitraging, but we're actually using just these exchanges in the optimism ecosystem. So in a nice way that we're playing inside the ecosystem. We're using other exchanges, and we're making pricing more efficient across these different markets inside of optimism. So I think it's a really nice way that we continue to build and leverage other exchanges, other dexes inside of OP. So yeah, if you support OP and you want to see that the volumes increase over time, yeah, this is another reason to support something or support innovations like hot tubs or vaults that play nicely in the system. Okay, let's see if there are any other questions. Any other good questions? All right. This question here is not quite related, but I'm going to read it anyways. When is this protocol going to be great like Binance? So that's a tough question to answer. So I'm going to say very, very soon. So I guess I answer that way. It's always the challenge with, of course, a DEX going against a SEX is, of course, the permissionless or non, I guess, decentralized nature of doing things is obviously a lot less maybe efficient than doing something centrally. So that is the trade-off. So as things tend to develop a little more slowly when there's less centralized coordination, but the things that are built can last a lot longer. So over time, I think in the next, if you look back, let's say since our maybe 5 years, right? The last bull market, 2017, 2018, there were no DeFi. There was next to no DeFi protocols, right? There were next to no DeFi exchanges, and it's taken 4 years. But look how far things have come along 4 years. So if we now extrapolate another 4 years out, can you imagine the space that we're going to be in at that point, right? So, so this is I think it's important to keep the long-term view as these things as these things continue to build out, and I think that over time, right, naturally we will see, with the world being the way it is, people will begin to. My hope is that people will begin to prioritize decentralization, and at the same time that technology and innovation continues to improve and to keep pace. That it's just a matter of time that dexes like Perpetual, turn into or even become something better than what we see with Binance now. Not an easy thing to do, but that's the challenge that we put on our shoulders here at Perpetual, is to be best in class. All right, thanks for that question. Kind of a tangent there, but happy to take it. We have a couple other questions we had prior to today's call, which I think I'll share as well. One question we had is, how often is the APR updated? So that's a good question, because you may be wondering, you're looking at the APR on the screen here. How often is that APR updated? Jamie, do you have something you can share on that, or any insights into that?
Yeah, I think it's updated periodically, maybe every 20 minutes or every hour. I think that's my understanding from it.
Yeah, it's not real time, but it's definitely I think it's fairly regular, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, right now, if you want, you can actually get the APR if you can interact with the smart contract, right? So I think we'll share that in our documentation. If you want to query that, you can actually query it and get the APR. And I think we've had a few requests now for something similar. So I think probably eventually we'll share how that's done on our FAQs, and people can probably just write something themselves to find that APR real time. Okay, if that helps. Another question: is it true that with hot tub vault yields are unaffected by market conditions? Thanks again for the question. Yeah, we did speak to that a bit earlier, and that is generally true. Generally true, but I guess to be more specific, it is affected by market conditions, just not volatile market conditions. So arbitrage works best during volatile periods, where let's say the price diverges on two different markets. So for instance, before we had perpetual futures, back in the day, like in 2017 era, even prior to that, right? People would do arbitrage, spot the spot arbitrage. They'd find a price in Korea that would diverge with the price in, let's say, North America. They'd buy and sell at the same time, and they lock in that spread. With the development of the futures markets, right? People now are doing the same thing on spot in futures markets, and this is kind of how this hot tub vault works. Is we're finding a price divergence, and these price divergences usually occur during volatile periods, right? Where things are moving around very quickly. Things, they sort of, you might have some traders on one exchange doing something over here, and another set of traders on another exchange will be, pushing price in another direction or at a different speed, right? And you will have this big spread that occurs. Well, the role of an arbitrageur is to try to, shrink that spread. And it's pretty much risk-free because you're buying and selling at the same time, right? So you're kind of hedging out that price directionality. So that's what makes it market neutral. So it is market neutral, but as I mentioned earlier, it doesn't work so well when things are flat. So it basically gives the arbitrage bot nothing to do, right? So in the examples, if Bitcoin is trading at 30,000 on one exchange, and then it's trading at 30,000 on another exchange, there's nothing to do, right? The prices are in line, and it just sits there and does nothing. So in those periods, the bot will basically just sit there and just sit on its hands, right? So it will do better in volatile times. So secondly, what measures have put in place to enhance security and transparency with the use of hot tub? Yeah, good question. That's like that one. Jamie, I think you've read some stuff around that. Anything you want to share around that?
Sorry, what was the question? I didn't get that.
What measures have been put in place to enhance security? So maybe and transparency with the use of hot tub.
I suppose in terms of security, like it goes through a certain process that we have for like each of our products. So it'll be like a internal audit and then like testing as well before it went live. We tested it like internally, and then for transparency, like so it's all built on chain, and then in an upcoming guide we'll kind of show you like how you can see like the vault and the trades it makes on Etherscan, like how it works, and breaking it down and seeing like you're getting your fair share.
That's nice.
Of the profit. So yeah, look out for that on our blog post coming soon.
Yeah, that's nice. And are we going to be open sourcing? I know we can't probably open source the actual arbitrage bot in terms of the logic it uses, but I think we are open sourcing elements of it, right?
I think so. Yeah, I think that's the plan. Yeah, I'm not too sure though. We'll have to have to check with the team, see like the progress on that.
Okay, cool. Yeah, and by the way, like we did open source our arbitrage bot a while back, so it is basically using that source code. Obviously, it has different logic in there. That's kind of the secret sauce is how you do arbitrage, and that's baked inside that bot, which is not being shared in GitHub. But the bones of that bot is in GitHub, so you can kind of see how it works if you're interested in that, or if you want to run one yourself, then that's available to you. But I really like that transparency nature because to me that's always been the scary part with vaults is sometimes it just feels like it's a black box, right? And you put your money in and you have no idea what it's doing, and even if your money's there. So I really like the idea of being able to audit that vault to make sure that you're seeing the activity in the vault and that it's doing what it says it's doing. So yeah, I really appreciate it when protocols and projects they do everything on chain. It just gives that kind of warm and fuzzy feeling for folks of us who don't want to get rugged. So yeah. All right. Thank you so much again. Good question. And I'll ask you one final question, which is not really related, but I'll just say it anyways. Dovish or hawkish? I think it's from Terrorect. Dovish or hawkish what? The hot tubs? Or I think you probably mean FOMC, right? Yeah. So I think Jamie and I are both saying it's going to be right in line. So I don't know if it's dovish or hawkish. I think it's basically right in line.
It's like neutral,
Consensus.
isn't it?
Yeah, just consensus. All right. So I think that wraps it up. Oh yeah, one final thing I want to talk about related to hot tub, because we did get that question in our Discord, and folks may also have that question in their mind, in the back of their minds. It's an easy one to answer. How quickly can I remove my funds from hot tub? So, Jamie, do you have any insights around that?
Yeah, I think once you deposit, there's like a 15-minute cooldown from the moment you deposit, just as like a security precaution. But then after that period has elapsed, then you're basically free to withdraw whenever you want.
Yeah. Is there also a cooldown period from the moment you click on withdraw? Like I think you have to submit your withdrawal first, right, and then wait 15, or is that
Uh,
just for
I
the
don't,
deposit?
I don't think so. I think that's just when depositing, at least from when I tested it out last week. Like there'll be a countdown timer as soon as you deposit, but then yeah, when you withdraw, it's like as long as that period has passed, then yeah, you can like withdraw at any time.
Okay. Yeah, because behind the scenes, what would actually have to happen is, of course, the arbitrage bot or the vault itself would have to settle out some positions to free up that capital to then send it back to the user, right? So obviously the vault is long and short a bunch of ETH, or a bunch of ETH, because these things both rely on ETH, and they would have to kind of basically square out those positions and then give those funds back to the user. So that's kind of what's happening behind the scenes. But the beauty is yes, you should be able to pull your money out freely. That's the main one of the main benefits of the vault. No lockup periods. It's not like you have to worry about being stuck for 30 days or 90 days or any of that kind of stuff, right? So, all right. Well, I think that takes us to the end of the call. I'm just going to double check to see if there's any other questions, but I think that's a wrap. So yeah, so why don't we put a pin in it here? We'll wrap up the call. So once again, thank you everyone for coming out to community call number 47. Happy to be a part of it, and to actually get a chance to host one of these things. Hopefully, it won't be my last, depending on the feedback we get. But I hope you guys had a good time. I enjoyed hosting it, and in terms of let's talk about those the giveaways. So please stay on the line. I want to give away 2 T-shirts. I saw 2 really good questions, so I'm going to give 2 T-shirts away. So stay on the chat. Actually, why don't you come? What's the best way to do it? Should they come to our Discord, Jamie, to give us their email address? Because that's all we need. We just need your email address. We don't need to get your mailing address. So iGain and Ayub, can you come to our Discord and give us your email address? Or if you're comfortable sharing it here on the chat, it's up to you. Really up to you. But if you're in our Discord, come there and tell me you're the winner, and I'll be happy to just give me your email address, and I'll be happy to send you instructions on how to claim those T-shirts. Okay, so yeah, maybe come to Discord. It's more private there, so you don't have to dox yourself if you're using one of your main email addresses. All right. Well, let's wrap it up here then. So once again, thanks everyone for coming out on to today's call. Thank you, Jamie, once again for all your fun insights and your knowledge. And we'll see you in a couple weeks. Take care, everyone.
Thanks. Bye bye.
Bye now.
Bye.